How's it going, man? Well, sometimes sleep is nice, but then other than that, I'm good.
Sometimes I wake up at 3:30 and it's like,
That's the time I woke up. I woke up at 3:25 this morning, 3:28 yesterday morning, and once I drink that cup of coffee, that's it.
yeah.
Yeah, I'm done
For
then.
me, I wake up, I go use the bathroom, I get a sip of water or something, go back, and I can usually go back to sleep until 5 o'clock when my alarm rings. Sometimes you just,
Yeah,
so I just go out and start doing stuff.
well,
One morning I got up and washed my motorcycle.
really? Yeah, well, I get up, I read, I put some information out there for people,
Yeah.
and after I do that, you know what I mean, I'll be all right. Yes, sir. How you doing?
Well, they come all the way up to a certain spot from the north side.
All comments must be addressed to the council as a whole. All comments must be addressed to the council as a whole. Addressing individual council members or staff is not allowed. Speakers should be courteous in their choice of words and actions. And comments shall be limited to the issues and cannot involve individuals or staff-related matters. Also, all cell phones and electronic devices used for communication should be silenced for the duration of the meeting, of this meeting. I will now call to order Terrebonne Parish Consolidated Government's Council meeting Wednesday, February 12, 2022. We will start with an invocation and the Pledge of Allegiance led by Mr. Steve Trusclair.
Thank you, Mr. Chair. Loving and gracious God, help us to keep the common good before us. Strengthen our gifts of wisdom, courage, and respect for the views of others. Strengthen our gifts of wisdom, courage, and respect for the views of others. Strengthen us to continue to work with our leaders, seeking an ever more just society that acts in harmony and independence with all creation. In the name of Jesus, in union with your spirit, we pray. Amen.
Amen.
Pledge allegiance to the flag
Of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. Ms. Smith, can we have a roll call, please?
Yes, sir. Mr. Trusclair, Mr. Pleasure, Mr. Harding,
Here.
Mr. Hoyzan, Mr. Amity, Mr. Champagne, Mr. Hamner, Mr. Babin, Ms. Chauvin. Mr. Chairman, you have a quorum present.
Thank you, ma'am. Approved minutes of the regular council session held on January 15, 2025. Moved by Mr. Amity, second by Mr. Trusclair. Any discussion? Members vote your machine. We have 9 yeas, 0 nays. Distribution of the minutes of the session, of the special session condemnation hearing held on January 28, 2025, and that has been done. Distribution of the minutes of the regular council session held on January 29, 2025 has been done. Next, we have the approval of the accounts payable bills list for February 3rd, 2025, and February 10th, 2025. Moved by Mr. Pleasure, second by Mr. Amady. Any discussion? Members vote your machine. 9 yeas, 0 nays. First order of general business. A, representatives from the Atchafalaya They're not here? Once, twice, 3 times. Item B, resolution accepting and approving the Terrebonne Parish Coastal Resiliency Plan. Moved by Mr. Amity, second by Mr. Champagne. Any discussion, members vote your machine? 9-0, motion passes. C, update year-end report from Terrebonne Economic Development Authority Chief Executive Officer, Mr. Cohen B. Guidry. State your name and address, sir.
Thank you, Mr. Chairman. Colin Guidry, 2000 Savannah Road, Houma, Louisiana, 70360. Come before you this time to present our year-end review for Terrebonne Economic Developments, what we've been able to accomplish in 2024 and what we're pushing in 2025. So Mr. Babbitt's told me I have a short amount of time, so I'm going to roll through this very quickly. So, you know, as some of you have been on this council since I started this and worked along through some of these projects together, you know, I hope you guys are, and the new ones, I hope everybody's satisfied with the level that we've gotten to. So we've managed to restructure our board. We've got a stabilized board of directors with a diverse group of business owners in this parish that were really doing some really strong things and some good things. We were able to hold our first board retreat since 2016 and came out of that with goals and objectives that were measurable and given that we could look at things of how we've been able to accomplish them. We did move into the Whitney Bank building. We were the first occupants from this side of the block, and we're representing everybody there well, and we really like our new home that we've been given. We've been able to accomplish the TPNRC, the Terrebonne Parish Nature and Recreation Conservatory. Some people know it as the old Shell property. We've been able to secure a $100,000 grant in a partnership with the parish through GNOF. And we completed the grant application and won that grant. We're in the ending stages of doing the hazard mitigation and the environmental impact study on that now. There's been $6 million secured in HMGP funds, $6 million of CBDG-DR that was submitted in the end of 2024. So, and we continue, Mr. Pulaski and I work together to look for grants of things that'll improve that area, because it's going to be an evergreen project that's going to grow as we're still going to need it. There's going to be multiple phases of it. So we've got a lot of good partners in that project as well. I've joined several boards, Leadership Terrebonne, the South Central Planning and Loan Board, participated on a foundation board, completed a CDI community development course, which was a 3-year course that the University of Arkansas put together for community development. It was originally set up as a 3-year course, 1 full week each year. LED sponsored a pilot program in 2024, and they approached me about attending. So we crammed in 3 weeks of work into 1 year and got it accomplished, finished that at the end of 2024. So that was a great learning lesson for me and lots of great contacts. We have enacted a Mardi Gras impact study as requested by you, the Parish Council, in 2023. And I was in touch with Dr. Tony Weiss, who is going to be conducting the study from Tulane. They've already reached out to the carnival clubs, captains, and things like that to get the questionnaires answered, and they will have people on the ground for all the parades, and then they will start milling through all the numbers, getting with Ms. Malden and the financial parts from the parish, and have us a report by September of 2025. So we'll know what the financial impact, what Mardi Gras really is. So I know there's been a lot of, from both sides, back and forth of what it does and what it does not do. So that should give us a good feel for it. We've also picked up a very important project that was a pet project of Parish President Bazeron for the imported shrimp research in conjunction with Catch to Market. So we're still trying to work towards that with Ms. Chauvin and some of the other many groups that work in this area, CTAC and things like that. So we spoke earlier this week about the Project Cynthia. Their pilot program kicked off and wrapped up in 2024. and they're ready to, we're starting meetings with sugarcane industries and mills in the next couple months to see if they can help with the process of grinding the stems and helping them with some of the things. But they got a multiple product line for cat litter, for insulation, for biodegradable pots, and now horse bedding. So I think there's going to be a lot of good uses for it. They, like I said earlier this week, they do plan on making multiple remote sites as they grow it in the future with having one. So remote sites will be the collection points at different bayou regions with one drying facility and one processing facility. So that's something that it's going to be evergreen. It's going to be growing in the parish as we go. So we won't see a difference overnight, but I think if given a 3 to 5 year plan, we can certainly look at them clearing our waterways and helping a lot of the natural things that those lilies tend to block for us. We've successfully gotten some of the very big ITEPs, industrial tax exemption programs, through some of the long-lasting resident companies of the parish. KMB to be one. There's a $4 million expansion that they did, a $12 million aerospace facility expansion that they did, and then also Bollinger Shipyard had an expansion at their facility on Bayou DeLarge. We have learned that February of 2024, the ITEP rules changed as far as what we had to do. The old way of approvals was the company would go in and they would do an advance notification to Louisiana Economic Development, and they would push it down to us. We would get with the tax collector, run a model on it to see other ways that money goes into the economy of Terrebonne Parish, and then what millages would be forgiven on the 80%. Now it's one board. It'll be and a jury's still out on how it's going to finalize, but it'll be one board sitting in one place with representation from parish council or administration, school board, and the sheriff's office, with the tax collector and myself being non-voting members to try to facilitate everything on it. So we hope that that'll come through before the first ITEP of 2025. There's a Swiss manufacturing expansion for cardiovascular tools. I've been working with this company. I looked at a couple different buildings in the parish. We were able to help them find and locate a new facility here in Terrebonne Parish with about a $1.5 million expansion on that. So they service both oil and gas production side and now the Swiss manufacturing, which is great diversification for for Terrebonne Parish and some of the projects that they do. And I'm glad that we were able to do that. There was talks that they could possibly leave the parish. So we were able to keep one here. And, and day to day, still now we have talks with companies that want to come in from other parishes due to increased property taxes and different things like that. So it's, we welcome them with open arms, and we want to continue to do that. Carbon capture company out of Texas looking to secure a lease to Terrebonne Parish for CO2 storage. That's a slow-going process, kind of like with the wind projects that are going on. I think there's a lot of uncertainty with the current administration that's in office in Washington, D.C., and what they're going to do some of these greener initiatives. So those are still on the table for us. Some of the projects that we have signed non-disclosure agreements with, Project Tiger Tail, 100-year-old manufacturing company that wants to relocate to be closer on the water. And Terrebonne Parish is a prime location. We've picked out 3 or 4 50-acre sites that they could do their business in. Their major investor comes out of Texas, and they'd like them to be on the Houston Ship Channel. And we're trying to fight against that to keep them or to bring them here. So they're a Louisiana-based company that wants to stay here, and they've got the state's name in their business name. So I keep taunting them with, you can't go move to Texas and use Louisiana in your name. But so that's one. We've got the Project Feline Worm. It's a multi-industry support company who's been outside of this parish and operating in an older facility, would like to do something, and they would qualify. We're working in partnership with the Port of Terrebonne, and they would qualify for port priority funding, which is very attractive to them. So they've got some things to settle on that end. And Project Crawdaddy, it's a local company that wants to diversify into life-saving equipment. It's kind of outside of what they do in their day-to-day operation, but it's diversifying for a global life-saving product that can be used. So We were able to, Equinor, which is a Norwegian energy company, they've got an office in Houston. We facilitated a meeting with administration, Terrebonne Parish School Board, SLEC, Vanderbilt Catholic High School, and Fletcher to come in and see what they could offer and increase in our STEM program. So they're looking to make investments in the parish that they know is going to pay good dividends down the road. Our site certification process, we had at the beginning of 2024, 2 certified sites in the parish, Rebecca South and North. We've gone through the recertification process with them just last week. We've been able to get a 44-acre piece at the Port of Terrebonne into the certified site program. We've got 2 more as part of our goals and objectives for 25 in the pipeline to complete in 25, and we're working with a couple local commercial real estate agents and a certified site consultant that LED's provided to us to get. I would like to see us get 2 new sites into the pipeline for every year coming forward. So we've got a nice backlog on that. And the more certified sites that we do have, they're listed on LED's site. When a site selector from anywhere in the country or world looks around, they can see what we have, what the capabilities are, spaces, sizes, and what we can offer them as a community. So this is something that's very important for us to grow our certified sites. We were able to secure a $250,000 match through LA Competes, and this will provide matching funds for some EDA grant that the parish has applied for an expansion and road widening, in Homa to complete sewer and water on a large piece of property as well. So this is something that'll get it across the line and allow it to happen. Quick, I'll do a run over of what our goals and objectives were for 2024. To create and advocate tax incentive plans for the Terrebonne Parish. So we assisted in developing the new ITEP board that will exist and operate in Terrebonne. Develop, implement, and integrate a marketing plan. So we applied jointly as a partnership with the parish for a grant for us to do bee footage and filming of some of the local areas, businesses in our parish, doing interviews with some of the longstanding business members of the parish. And we'll get a full reimbursement up to $10,000 for the footage that we can use on our website, the parish can use. We can use it in tourism, any of the advertisement that we want to. We hired a third party to design a new and roll out and implement our new website. That has been completed and is out and about. A piece of that has been a news blast post for our social media platforms. In conjunction, when you post one place, it goes to all. That would be all of our Facebook, Instagram, LinkedIn, and accordingly. So it's getting the message out and getting the word out to different avenues of social media, and just letting everybody know what we do and what we have been able to accomplish. We were able to complete 12 of our Tea to Time shows with local HTV 10. Develop and finalize corporate endeavor agreement with Fletcher Technical Community College and Terrebonne Parish School Board through the Partnership Development Early College Academy. That is still in play. Conduct a retention visit to the Port of Terrebonne and the airport to find out what their top 3 needs are. So the port, we work in partnership with the port and the airport, HTAC. And it's very, we rely on one another, and there's a lot of great things. The federal trade zones that's offered by the airport and some of the port priority programs that the port can offer building projects in the parish, because they can build a project anywhere in the parish. So those are great things that are going on. Partnership. So the port, we've gotten with the port to register one more piece of their. It's a 109-acre piece to get into the pipeline for the site selection. David Robelay and I went to Baton Rouge to conduct a lessons learned and a lunch and learn for LED with all the new staff that was coming in to introduce ourselves and kind of establish a rapport with the new members of LED, which I think will pay great dividends for us. And then the HTAC is in need for some of their FAA ratings, 190,000 gallons of water for firefighting capabilities. and just kind of figure out with them is, you know, do you need to build a 190,000 gallon retention tank, or can you have a plan B and C to help them get to that point that would still satisfy the FAA rules? So we're working in conjunction with them on that. And also the requirement for consistent electrical power and needs for the predetermined amount of what they will need for the electric helicopter or electric aircraft program that they're looking to bring here along with the drones. So that's working with the city of Houma and also Entergy. And there's a lot of fencing needs that they're trying to find local funds for to secure the airport. So we're helping them find funding for that as well. Develop and finalize corporate endeavor agreement CEA with Terrebonne Parish Consolidated Government, Fletcher Technical Community College to assist and develop and implement the business incubator. Some of you may well know, if you come up and visit, we have taken the third floor at the Whitney Bank building, and there was some great thought put into allowing Fletcher to take the rest of that floor and allow us to assist them and help them, because, you know, you've got people who at different levels of preparedness to start a business. Some crawl through the door, some have training wheels, and some run through the door. Some have their own funding, you know, and we're there as a partnership to figure out who needs to help that person along the way. So I think it's going to be a great partnership with that. In with that, we serve on 7 of their 9 boards that develop part of the transition plan. We've taken the lead in a joint partnership with HDRC and TEDFO, finding funding for their kitchen that was not funded through the round of funding that they were able to secure for the developing the site. And I will be project managing the kitchen and build and everything on that as an assistance to them. So those are some of the great things we accomplished in 24, and I think our list is even going to be longer for 2025.
Any lights? Mr. Amity.
Thank you, Mr. Chairman. Well, it sounds like you guys are out of breath.
Not yet.
Sure did a lot. But I just want to commend you, your staff, and your board, because you're doing exactly what we would expect of TITA. TITA, as you know, was shut down at one point because they really weren't getting the job done. But I really have to say that I like the way that you're out with your fingers in everything, because one of the things that we need to do in Terrebonne Parish is diversify our industries, manufacturing, all of that stuff, so that we're not just dependent upon the oil field and the medical. And I think that you guys are doing that, so kudos to you. We really appreciate it.
Thank you, Mr. Amity.
Mr. Babin.
Yeah, Gordon, I echo those sentiments. You know, y'all have done a lot, okay? And I was part of the board that dismantled TITA in the past and then helped to re-put it back in. And I think you're on the ground running. You're not coming in on a tricycle. You're on that bike and you're running. A lot of these are very exciting. The one that's the most exciting to me is the Cynthia project, simply because it not only brings another company into Terrebonne Parish, it gets rid of a problem that we have if it works. So, I mean, that's really, and the fact that they're starting off in the council district that I represent doesn't hurt. But in any event, no, it's just a good thing for the parish if that works. And all of these projects are very worthy. The airport is a big deal for the future here.
Yes, sir.
So keep up the great work. Thank you.
Thank you, Mr. Babin.
Great job. Great job. Thank you.
All right. Thank you.
It's been motioned by Mr. Trustclass, second by Mr. Pleasure, that we deviate and return to item number 1A. Members vote your machine. Nine yeas, 0 nays. Part of the general business of this particular meeting, 1A, is representatives from the Chafalaya Master Plan Settlement Pipeline Proposal wishes to address the council relative to the settlement pipeline project. Could you state your name, sir, and your address?
Yeah, my name is Dean Wilson. Address is 32675 Gracie Lane, Unit D, Plaquemine, 70764. Apologies, I got lost over here, and then everything was changed. So, yeah, I hope you have a chance to look at the final management plan for the Chafalaya Basin. I think they got several parishes that already agreed to pass the resolution. Assumption Parish already passed the resolution last night. So it's going to be Every Parish and San Martin Parish very soon. Salandri Parish also is looking into signing on to pass a resolution so they can sign on to the management plan. I don't know if you have a chance to look at the plan, but it mainly have three components. One is to make a leaky levee for flood protection for the communities around the Chafalaya Basin. So the main drainage for those communities is the Chafalaya River. We have a levee, the water cannot drain into the river. We're trying to change that so it's a series of gates, pumps, and siphons. Those connections to the levee is called a leaky levee, was made by the communities around the Chafalaya Basin. We had two public meetings, one in the west side of the basin in Carahula, another one in Bayou Pigeon, which was citizens from Iberville Parish and Assumption Parish and public officials attended, so it was created by the public. The second component is to keep the sand in the river because we filling out the basin, and the basin is losing the flood capacity, which is critical for your parish because if the levees break on the east side of the basin, your parish will be flooded. So it's very important that we keep the flood capacity we have today. So that's another component. And by the way, every time you lose flood capacity, it's forever. You cannot go back in time and regain flood capacity again. So that will be pretty much a death sentence to South Central Louisiana because we cannot protect the chemical plants in South Central Louisiana if the basin cannot handle a Mississippi River flood. And the third one that will affect directly your parish is we have a lot of sediment in the Chafalaya Basin. It is a pipeline to bring, a lot of sand from the Chafalaya Basin, but also the pipeline will go to Lake Palourde so we can maintain, restore some of the flood capacity of Lake Barrette, Lake Palourde, and bring it to the pipeline to your parish. And the pipeline to be designed by CPRA and in the future will go from Lake Palourde, Chafalaya Basin, Lake Palourde, and all the way to the coast through Terrebonne Parish. I hope you have a chance to look at that, and I hope you can pass the resolution and support it. Anybody have any questions?
Ms. Chauvin.
So in looking at this, is your concept supported by a feasibility study or an engineering analysis?
It's not.
It is not.
Yeah, and the reason being, first, because the Chafalaya Basin program and CPRA is creating a master plan for the Chafalaya Basin. It takes 4 years to create. We found out like in November, and the deadline to submit something like this is the end of this month.
Okay.
So
But are you aware that Terrebonne Parish has a long-distance sediment pipeline project in the CPRA coastal?
I am very much aware of that. And
Okay.
I'm in communication with Mr. Black. We
Okay.
talk extensively about that. And also with Mac Wade, which is I think his name is director of the Port of Morgan City. Yes.
So you have a resolution from the Port of Morgan City?
He's gonna talk with his board and see if they pass it or not. So I don't know.
Okay, so
Yeah,
that's
I don't-
unknown.
Yeah, it's
Okay.
unknown.
You are aware that, or are you aware that Terrebonne Parish supported by paying half of the feasibility study for the Terrebonne Parish one? that we
Very
have?
much aware, yeah.
Okay. That's what I just wanted to know if the port had already given you support or not, but you already answered that.
Mac is in support of it, but he had to have a board he had to go through before they officially back up the project. And in no way we want to replace this pipeline with the pipeline that's already been approved. That's,
Well, I'm just kind of looking at what you have compared to what they had, and
Yeah.
when I'm talking with the CPA head, he's saying that what you have would be 2 times longer than what the Terrebonne
yes,
one is. Okay.
yes, yeah,
All right, thank you.
thank you.
Mr. Bergeron?
Yeah, just to kind of follow up on what Kim's saying, as I understand, working with CPRA, that there is an alignment for a sediment pipeline, that this will be different than that one. And so just to make sure we're all on the same page, that we're not resolving to have 2 pipelines like Ms. Kim was asking about. So I just want to make sure we were all on the same page there.
Mr. Trusclair?
Okay, thank you, Mr. Chair. Look at the backup, on the, second whereas, it says the Coastal Protection Restoration Authority, CPRA, has been formally the comprehensive master plan. And it goes on down, but it's listed under, the Chafalot Basin, Basin Keeper plan, y'all settlement plan. So y'all plan is not tied into CPRA's plan no kind of way.
Well, our intention is to tie it to the CPRA. CPRA is asking for proposals for the master plan for the Chafalot Basin from the public and the parishes, and that's what we're doing. We're putting together all the parishes and the public and submitted this management plan.
So your management plan is part of CPR's plan?
Well, we're proposing it to CPRA to
Oh,
be
okay.
adopted on the master plan that will be completed 4 years from now. So anything that we can submit now, they won't accept any more submissions in the next 3.5 years or 4 years. So that's our chance to submit something like that.
Okay, thank you.
You're welcome.
So, sir, you actually come in here, and from the information that we actually received, you're asking us or requesting us to support was there. Okay.
Yeah, the proposal, yeah.
Okay. So the chair, Mr. Babin.
Yeah, I just wanted to make it clear. You're asking for a resolution of support from Terrebonne Parish for you to give the information that you compile in conjunction with CPRA for their master plan. Is that,
No, that's not correct.
okay, that's why
That's
I'm
not correct,
asking
no. This is a plan that originally was created by Fisherman and Greg Girard and the Chafalot Basin Keeper,
Okay.
and also Dr. Aaron Van Herden. And now we are submitting it because we have the opportunity,
But I just don't want, what I'm afraid of is duplication of effort, okay? We go through all of this with the Atchafalaya, and it is contrary to CPRA. Which one is gonna win out in the long run? Terrebonne Parish wants to benefit from a long-term, pipeline. There's no two ways about it. Have you been in contact with CPRA here recently about your proposal and your resolution and gotten their feedback on it?
Not really, no.
Yeah, I
They
mean, you
just
see where
want-
we're going with that. This is a great thing for Terrebonne Parish down the line. I don't want it to be in conflict with
Yeah.
CPRA.
Yeah, maybe you can ask, Mr. Black is here, we talked extensively. I don't think this here is the long term. I don't think in any way we replace the pipeline you already have in the books. I mean, if they don't approve it because the pipeline is already working in there, they don't approve it. But I don't think because we present this to CPRA, that is gonna stop the pipeline you already have on the works.
Okay,
Yeah,
all right, thank you.
you're welcome.
So at this point right now, basically where we are, that if there is a motion to actually either support you or not support you, and right now the chair entertains the motion. Excuse me, Mr. Trustman.
Okay, this is just a thought that I got. I would suggest that we not take any action tonight until we have an opportunity to meet with CPRA and see what CPRA's thoughts about us getting into this alignment. If they're in favor of it, if they think it's a good idea, I think, I'm all for it. 'Cause I mean, look, we want to build up as much land as we can. But, I think our best path forward from here would be to not take any action on this tonight and let us get some more information and have someone from CPRA address us. And then we can make an educated, intelligent decision on what path we want to move with this thing. So that's my suggestion. If everybody's good, I'll make that as a motion.
I just want to mention something very quick. The deadline to submit this is firm, is the 28th of this month. Yeah.
It came last week.
Yeah, 2 weeks ago. The chair has a motion by Mr. Trustclass, second by Ms. Chauvin, that we would actually defer this to a later date.
Okay, thank you.
And it's most voting machines. Votes 9-0. Need a motion? A motion by Mr. Champagne to go back in the regular order. Second by Mr. Trustclair. Members vote your machine. Votes 9-0. Item D. Excuse me. Okay. Item D. Terrebonne Parish Arbor Day 2025 proclamation. Mr. Charles Kevin Champagne.
I don't think is it working?
Yeah. It's
Okay.
working.
All right. Terrebonne Parish Consolidated Government in celebration of Arbor Day, whereas in 1872, J. Sterling Morton proposed to the Nebraska Board of Agriculture that a special day be set aside for the planting of trees. And whereas this holiday, called Arbor Day, was first observed with the planting of more than 1 million trees in Nebraska, and whereas Arbor Day is now observed throughout the nation and the world, and whereas trees can reduce the erosion of precious topsoil by wind and water, cutting heating and cooling costs, moderate the temperatures, clean the air, produce life-giving oxygen, and provide habitat for the wildlife. And whereas trees are a renewable resource giving us paper, wood for our homes, fuel for our fires, and countless other wood products. And whereas trees in our city increase property values and enhance the economic vitality of business areas, and beautify our community. And whereas trees, wherever they are planted, are a source of joy and spiritual renewal. And whereas the purpose and the goal of the Terrebonne Parish Tree Board is primarily the planting and the preservation of trees on parish-owned public properties in order to enhance stormwater mitigation, air and water quality, economic development, community livability, and public appreciation of trees. And now, therefore, it be resolved by the Terrebonne Parish Council on the behalf of the parish president, Jason W. Bergeron, and the entire parish consolidated government, that the day of February 15th, 2025, be hereby proclaimed as Arbor Day in home of Terrebonne Parish, and that all citizens be urged to celebrate Arbor Day, to support efforts to protect our trees and woodlands, and to plant trees to gladden the hearts and promote the well-being of this and future generations. Presented this 12th day of February 2025, signed by Jason W. Bergeron, Terrebonne Parish President, and Carly Harding, Council Chairperson. Do we have anybody? Oh, of course.
Right. Hi, everybody. I'd like to remind everybody that we have our tree giveaway this Saturday, the 15th.
Excuse me, Ms. Bird, we know you, but then nobody else does. Name and address.
Yeah, I should have known better than that. From anybody. Connie Bird, 5953 Alma Street, Houma, Louisiana, 70364. Yes, okay. Back to where I was. We have our tree giveaway this Saturday, the 15th, at the main Houma Library. We have over 200 trees to give away. And it's going to start at 9 o'clock, but we'll start registering people at 8:30. And it'll go until the trees are gone. But we have 200 trees to give away, and they're all in 3-gallon pots. So this is a nice-sized tree that you're getting for free. The species of trees that we have are the bald cypress, live oak, nuttall oak, Schumer oak, swamp red maple, and a river birch. all these trees are native to Terrebonne Parish, so they should do well. But I'd also like to remind everybody to plant responsibly. Don't plant under power lines or in power lines. So I'd also like to thank Apache. They supplied us with 75 trees. They paid for 75 of the trees that were given away. So a big shout out to Apache. They do this every year with us, and they've been a great sponsor for the tree board and taking care of that. And that's about it. So just plant responsibly and come get a free tree. Thank you.
Ms. Burton.
Oh, wait.
Okay.
Oh, yes, okay. Little conference there. This will be our 19th year of giving away trees, okay? So next year is our 20th anniversary. So we would like to put out the word that if you were around and took a tree 20 years ago and it's still hanging on, take a picture of it and get it to us, and that way we can show in our presentation of how well the tree giveaway has been throughout the years. And so it's the 20th anniversary of giving away trees. So we should have some good-sized trees out there by now.
Yeah, my question to you is, you have 200 trees, and hopefully you're going to have a demand for 300. But just in case that I'm trying to find out if one person can get more than one tree. Two per household. All right, that's what I'm trying to get.
There you go.
Thank you.
All right.
Terrebonne residents?
Yes, Terrebonne Parish residents only. All right.
Okay, thank you.
Thank you.
Motion by Mr. Babin, second by Mr. Champagne, that we go to 6:30 public hearing. Members, vote your machine. 8 yeas, 0 nays. Public hearing in accordance with section 2-07 of the Terrebonne Parish Home Rule Charter, the public will be, okay. In accordance to the, declaring two vehicles, public hearing, A, and the ordinance declaring two vehicles from Home Fire Department as surplus and authorizing said items to be disposed by any legal approved methods. First call public. Second call public. Third call public. Motion closed by Mr. Truckler, second by Mr. Pleasure. Members, vote your machine. Eight zero. Motion adopted by Mr. Pleasure, second by Mr. Truckler. Members, vote your machine. Mr. Truckler. Mr. Truckler.
Okay, thank you. And just for the record, Mr. Chairman, you stated fire department vehicles, this police department.
Police Department, yeah.
Thank you.
That's my retirement coming back off to me. Okay, members have voted machine, 8-0. Members vote your machine. 9-0. Motion adopted. Item B, an ordinance to set the salaries of the council staff for the inclusion of the 2025 salary adjustment and a 2025 salary adjustment, and to address other matters relative thereto. First call public. Second call public. Third call public. Motion closed by Mr. Truckler, second by Mr. Pleasure. Members, vote your machine. Nine zero. Motion adopted by Mr. Truckler, second by Mr. Pleasure. Members, vote your machine. Motion failed. You have four yeas, 5 nays. Motion by Mr. Amity to go back in the regular order, second by Ms. Chauvin. Members, vote your machine. 9-0. F. F. F.
No.
E. Is that E?
Yes.
Fire protection?
Yes.
Okay. E, resolution approving the holding of an election for Fire Protection District Number 4A of the Parish of Terrebonne, State of Louisiana, on Saturday, May 3rd, 2025, to authorize the levy of a special tax therein. Moved by Mr. Babin. Second by Mr. Amady. Members, vote your machine. 9 yeas, 0 nays. F. A motion to amend the condemnation adopted on July 23rd, 2024, and the residential structure located at 216 Olive Cuba Road, owned by Gerald Rodriguez, Mikhail Rodriguez, Marilyn Rodriguez, Maybelline, Julie Marie Rodriguez, Fletcher, Susan Rodriguez, Botnia, Thelma Rodriguez, Gisclair, Martha Rodriguez Walker, by changing the deadline to repair, demolition, and/or remove the structure from October 29, 2024 to April 23rd, 2025. Moved by Mr. Amady, second by Mr. Babin. Members, vote your machine. 9-0. Public wishing to address the council. In accordance with the section 2-07 of the Terrebonne Parish Home Rule Charter, the public will be heard and can speak for 3 minutes and on any matter relative to parish government without discussion or question, and answer on no non-agenda items. I have one speaker card. Okay. Mr. Mark Meyer wishes to address the council on low or no natural gas pressure at critical times.
Good evening, I'm Mark Mayer, 118 Newsom Drive. Have a concern of myself and a lot of residents in our area, which I know y'all familiar with, is the low natural gas pressure or no gas pressure during the last hurricane, tropical storm, and the recent snowstorm. We all have concerns. People would have generators that didn't start. People had gas furnaces, gas heating systems that didn't work. A lot of people were very cold at 18 degrees in Terrebonne Parish. You know, they were lucky. They had heaters. Friends brought heaters, electric heaters. Everybody had their fingers crossed that the power wouldn't go out. It didn't go out in Summerfield, but I heard it went out in other areas. But, I know it's a parish-wide situation. Specifically talking about the Summerfield area and the newer part of Summerfield. Is there any kind of updates or any information y'all can give us of what's going on?
Yes, sir. So we're finalizing two projects. One, we actually picked an engineer Monday night. So there's 2-inch to 4-inch line upgrade along St. Charles. They'll be fully expected to be completed before the hurricane season. We're also upgrading 2 booster stations. Due to us having to work with another company for that and parts, We can't give a time frame yet. We're hoping to have that soon, but that project will also be completed by the end of the year at the latest. But we're hoping to have within the next 2 weeks more information on that second project to give everybody a better understanding, at which point we're going to release all that information.
So I have a question about it though, also. You're gonna change a 2-inch line to a 4-inch line, that's the idea? Is that the main line or is that going to individual residents?
That's the main line, because we deal with not only pressure but volume, and that's why we also have to do the booster station upgrade on top of that to get more pressure and volume into those areas. But that is what we have on the books, and, you know, we definitely have been having this issue since Ida. We had less issues for Francine, but no, again, these projects that need to get done, we're getting them done this year, and feel that would definitely make a difference for that issue in the future.
All right. Okay. Yep, thank you.
Mr.
Thank you very
Champagne.
much.
Yeah, I just want to add to, the engineer also said that he's going to try to create a loop, right, which will also help.
Mr. Babin.
Yeah, thank you. And just to go along with Parish President Bergeron said, it's twofold. You have volume and you have pressure. The 4-inch line is going to increase the pressure. The 2-inch lines running down the street are going to stay there. But this will be right now it's a 2-inch line feeding 2-inch lines. This is going to be a 4-inch line feeding the 2-inch lines, okay? Because I represent the area that you live in, okay? But then when we upgrade the pump stations, if you will, that's going to increase the pressure even more because you have more volume now. So this should take care of the problem. And as I said Monday night in our meeting, we found out that the on-demand hot water heaters draw more BTUs than a generator of 22 kW and less, okay? So there's so many of those out there. But now we're in the process of, and like you said, this should be completed. The money is there. The engineering firm has been picked. We're just waiting for the final engineering drawings. Goes to construction, should be done well before hurricane season, weather permitting. Okay, thank you.
Thank you, sir. Item number 3, committee reports. Budget and Finance Committee, Mr. Pleasure.
Thank you, Mr. Chair. I make a motion that the council accept and ratify the minutes of the Budget and Finance Committee held on Monday, February 10th, 2025, and I have one public hearing. Number 1, consider the introduction of an ordinance to amend the 2025 adopted operating budget and 2025 budgeted positions of the Terrebonne Parish Consolidated Government for the following items and to provide for related matters. Item number 1, FMA flood mitigation, $433,340. Number 2, LCLE, $75,933. Number 3, Houma Police Department, $2,982. Item number 4, Houma Downtown Development, $59,832. Item number 5, Houma Downtown Development, $5,000. Item number 6, General Fund, $0, and call a public hearing on said matter on Wednesday, February 26, 2025 at 6:30 p.m.
Moved by Mr. Fletcher, second by Ms. Chauvin. Members, vote your machine. Nine yeas, 0 nays. Item B, Community Development Planning, Ms. Kim Chauvin.
I make a motion that the council accept and ratify the minutes of the Community Development and Planning Committee held on February 10th, 2025, and I have no public hearings.
Moved by Ms. Kim Chauvin, second by Mr. Brian Pridgett. Members, vote your machine. Eight yeas, 0 nays. Public Service Committee.
Did it by accident?
I hit it by, yeah, no, he is. Okay.
Thank you, Mr. Chair. Make a
Mr.
motion.
Watson, yeah.
Thank you, Mr. Chair. I make a motion that the council accept and ratify the minutes of the Public Service Committee held on Monday, February 10th, 2025, and I have no public hearings.
Moved by Mr. Voisin, second by Ms. Kim Chauvin. Members vote your machine. 8 yeas, 0 nays. Item 4, approving street lights installation, removal, and activations. As per Mr. Amity, second by Mr. Champagne. Members vote your machines. 8 yeas, 0 nays. 5, appointments in various boards and committees and commission. Recreation District 2-3 Board, 1 expiring term. Mr. Stewart J. Babin submits application and resume for consideration.
Motion open, close, and appoint Mr. Babin.
Moved by Mr. Babin, Mr. Amity, second by Mr. Voisin, to open, close, and appoint Mr. Babin. Members vote your machine. 7 yeas, 1 nay. Motion passed. B, Board of Adjustments, 1 expiring term. Mr. Tyler Lejeune submits an application for resume and consideration. Moved by Mr. Voisin, second by moved by Mr. Voisin. Motion to appoint by Mr. Voisin, second by Ms. Chauvin. Members vote your machine. 9 yeas, 0 nays. Item C, Homo Public Trust, 1 expiring. You got a light? Okay.
Thank you, Mr. Chair. I'd like to ask Mr. Pulaski to elaborate on this appointment, if you would. Thank you.
It's already on.
Oh, no.
Thank you. Chris Pulaski, Director of Planning and Zoning. Councilman Voisin, thank you for that. Mr. Pete Konos, his term on the Board of Adjustment expired a couple months ago, and Mr. Pete has been gracious enough to continue to attend the meetings, just, to offer his support and expertise and experience. He had termed out, and so this appointment was to replace him. Now, Mr. Pete's been on that Board of Adjustment since before I started with the parish in 2011. So the Board of Adjustment has talked it over, and what we'd like to do is put together a proclamation to recognize Mr. Pete and all of his efforts and sacrifice. And we'll be looking to present that to you all for the next regular council meeting at the end of the month. Thank you. And thank you, Mr. Pete.
Okay. Yeah. Homo Public Trust, 1 expiring term. Mr. Darrell Ware submits application and resume for consideration. Open closing point. A motion by Mr. Babin, second by Ms. Chauvin. Members vote your machine. 9-0. D, Children, Youth, and Services Planning Board, 2 expiring terms. 1 representing the faith-based organization and 1 representing the Bayou Area Children's Foundation. Mr. Brandon Terrio submits the application for consideration.
Open, close, and appoint, and hold the other over. I'd like to ask a question. Which Mr. Brandon Terrio is representing which one? Mr. in the backup, if it was in there.
It was my understanding that he has an opportunity to serve on either of the 2, and just actually whatever one he's actually appointed to.
That's fine.
Yeah.
Then open, close, and appoint, and hold the other over.
Are we correct?
Joe Harris that, when this was submitted, I called him because I want to know what, agency he was representing. He's actually taking the place of someone on that board, but that board has up to 25 members that can serve on that board in any capacity that deals with youth in the parish of Terrebonne. So he's going to be taking someone else's place on that board, but they can serve in any capacity on that board.
So therefore, you know, I mean, whatever it is, it's just a formality then. Mr. Terrier, is Mr. Terrier, you're out there, right? Okay, he's not there? Okay. So opening and closing the point, Mr. Brandon Terrier, and hold the other. Motion by Mr. Babin and was second by Ms. Chauvin. Members, vote your machine. 8 yeas, one nay. E, Municipal Civil Service Board, 1 expiring term representing the council and 1 vacancy due to the resignation representing the council nominated by the Nicholls State University. Ms. Lacey Corche, nominated by Nicholls State University, submits an application and resume for consideration. Open and closing the point by Ms. Chauvin. Second by Mr. Champagne. Members, vote your machine. 9-0. Monday engineering report of Milford and Associates. Moved by Mr. Babin, second by Ms. Chauvin. Members, vote your machine. 8-0. Item 7A, council member request discussion of by Councilman Pleasure to discuss the Minicode regulations.
Thank you, Mr. Chair. I'd like your assistance, Ms. Neal, in this. Just make sure that I'm clear so I understand. Not only that, but just, you have one coming down to you guys there, but this is in the spirit of transparency and us understanding, setting us up for success up here as a council, making sure that we're good in our efforts of being good stewards. So with that, you see it's highlighted there, and specifically what it is, Section 2-110 budget review and analysis. That's based on the Muni Code. And I had paused there because all of the others, I mean, they're pretty straightforward. That one's pretty straightforward too, that's highlighted. But at the same time, can you give me your definition of that or what that actually means?
Thank you, sir. This is the first time I see this. I'm not really prepared to give you any legal opinion on this, or
Okay.
I really haven't read this, so I can't give you anything off the cuff, but I can look into it and get back to you.
Absolutely.
Yes, sir.
Absolutely. Appreciate that. Ms.
Candace.
Yes, sir. Thank you, Mr. Hardy. Mr. Pledger, we do have a report that is available to council members. I believe it used to be printed out, and now it is available on the network. We can go back and get things printed if you want. It is done every month after we do a final close. It is usually within that 15 working days. Sometimes it's not. Mainly this time of year, it might not fit into that 15 working days because we're still trying to get entries in and close out 2024, the year end. But we can get, that information is available for all of the council members as we close every month.
Okay. If that information is, and that's my, I thought, here it says that, it's sent out to us, whatever. It didn't specify and say that it was, readily available, that type of thing. That's where I was confused. So with that being said, could we just have that information forwarded to us as a council as it reads there? If that's not putting too much of a strain on it.
No, sir. I believe we can do a simple push of a button where it might email, maybe too big for an email. That's the only issue that we may have. But I'll work with Robbie and we'll get something where you get it as it's closed, because it's every fund, but we'll work on something and make sure you know when it is available and where it is available.
Yeah, Mr. Amity makes a good point. If you can email a link, I mean, might be a little bit easier.
Yep,
So
we'll
we
get
can,
something for
so
you
we
for
can get
sure.
that information.
The report's available. It's just a matter of letting you know where it is for you to see it.
Thank
Mr.
you.
Bergeron.
Yeah, and I guess, Michelle, while you're looking at this, I would love for us to evaluate this ordinance and any other ordinance that talks about things that are delivered, whether it be physically or electronically, with us moving to a better technology system and SharePoint online. We have a lot of opportunities to share and collaborate with data. I know I'm definitely working on a reporting system to work with projects and funding and everything else. And so I'd want to make sure that anything that I'm doing doesn't go against something, that says we should or shouldn't do something. So it wouldn't be a bad idea to do a run through of all of this. I know it'll probably take some time, but definitely figure out ways that we can make sure things are delivered in the manner they need to be.
Mr. Hammer.
Yeah, I just wanted Ms. Walden to tell you, if I was going to tell you, don't bother to send it to me because I get enough emails. However, I do like the idea of a link. If you can do a link, it'll save me time because I know how to go in to look for it. But yeah, a link would save some time. So thank you for that. But if you can't do the link, I don't want it.
Does everyone have access to their SharePoint? I know we went through council staff, but if y'all haven't, I'll get with y'all one-on-one and get y'all to what we'll probably do is create a council SharePoint to where Candace can just drop it in there and then send that link, and then you'll be able to see all of them historically to where we never have to talk, like you won't have to worry about this again. I'll get with everyone and make sure they got access.
Any more lights? Okay. Item 8, vacancies in various boards, committees, and commissions. A, Recreation District number 5 Board, 2 expiring terms on 2/28/25. Fire District number 5 Board, 1 expiring term. Coastal Fire Protection District Board, 1 expiring term. Downtown Development Corporation, 5 expiring terms, each representing the following entities: 2 representing the council, 1 representing the Chamber of Commerce, 1 representing the Historical Society, and 1 representing the downtown merchants. Municipal Civil Service Board, 1 expiring term representing the Parish Council. Terrebonne Parish Tree Board, 2 expiring terms on 2/23/25, and 1 expiring term on and 1 vacancy due to resignation. Veterans Memorial District Board, 1 expiring term on 3/27/25, representing the American Legion Post 380, and 1 vacancy due to resignation, representing the parish president south of the Intercoastal. Item number 9, announcements, parish president.
Yes, sir. A few things definitely want to announce. Myself, along with members of CCA, Bayou Chapter, and other organizations, attended a dedication ceremony for Duncan's Reef yesterday, located south of Cocodrie and Lake Pelto. This is really an amazing project when you look at the partnership between the oil and gas energy companies and the environment and the groups that support making sure we continue to work together. Working with also local companies like Danos that produce a product called Cajun Coral that is 3D printed concrete cubes that allows the ability to create a reef and sustain and build up marine habitats and fisheries. And so I just really want to, it was interesting because it is named after Duncan Prentice, who lost his life to a car accident last year. And so for it to come together and be a great representation of how we do things in South Louisiana, where we turn tragedy into something positive, and it really exhibits our partnerships and our drive and willingness to make sure that we can, work on our fisheries, rebuild the coast, and do that with local companies and local partnerships. And again, Woodside was one of the main companies that helped sponsor this. They actually approached CCA and wanted to do this project, and it represents a guy that actually worked the project for a company that's a local company. And so just an amazing experience, very honored to be a part of that process and everything that happened with that. The next thing is that the next round of fortified roofing grants is available from the Louisiana Department of Insurance. It opened today. You can visit www.ldi.la.gov for more information. And this is not only to provide funding for stronger, more resilient roofing systems, giving our homeowners a sizable discounts of their wind and hail premiums, but the more fortified roofs, the way we gain in South Louisiana, the greater case we made for lower insurance premiums overall. The next thing I wanted to share is the Terrebonne Office of Homeland Security and Emergency Preparedness is announcing a training that will be hosting an in-person free Skywarn training for anyone with an interest in public service, including police and fire personnel, dispatchers, EMS workers, public utility workers, and other concerned private citizens. Attendees will learn the basics of thunderstorm development, fundamentals of storm structure, and identifying severe weather features, how, what information to report, and basic weather safety. It's February 13th at 101 Government Street, which is the EOC, from 4:30 to 6:30. And if they want more information, they can call 985-873-6357. Thank you.
Ms. Chauvin.
Okay, so this Saturday, February 15th, from 10 a.m. to 2 p.m. at the South Regional Library, they are going to have a work-ready interest meeting with Fletcher. So that is like obtaining your GED, work training, and much more. So I hope to see a lot of people there working to get there. Thank you.
Anyone else? Motion adjourned by Ms. Chauvin, second by Mr. Champagne. Members vote your machine. Have a good evening. 6-0.